All right, let's just jump right in. We're tackling a huge and honestly kind of unsettling question today, the illusion of free will. The big question is, did you ever really choose? I mean, think about it. Just today, hitting snooze, grabbing coffee, what you ate for breakfast, every single one of those feels like your decision, right? Something you and only you decided to do.
Yeah, it feels like you're in the driver's seat. You think through the options, you make a call, and then you act. That whole feeling of being in control, it's like a core part of what it means to be us. But what if it's all just a feeling? What if that sense of control is just a really, really good story our brain spins for us, but it only tells us that story after the real decision was already made, behind the curtain? So to really get into this, we've got to stop talking about how choice feels and start looking at what science can actually see happening inside our heads when we make a decision. And, for years, decades really, neuroscientists have been chasing this. They've been trying to find that exact moment of decision in the brain. And the stuff they're finding, well, it seriously starts to poke holes in this whole idea of free will. Okay, so the way they test this is actually pretty wild. Picture this. You're in a lab. All you have to do is press a button whenever the urge strikes you. Super simple, right? The catch is you have to remember the exact moment you felt the decision to press it. But all the while, your brain is being scanned. And here's the picker, the bombshell, really. The brain scan shows your brain getting ready to press that button before you consciously feel like you've made any decision at all. And look, we're not talking about a tiny fraction of a second. This is the crazy part. Scientists have been able to predict what someone is going to do up to 10 seconds before the person has any idea themselves. 10 full seconds. That's an eternity in brain time. And this is where it all comes together. You've got the unconscious brain activity happening first. The brain is already preparing the action. Then, way later, seconds later, you get the conscious awareness, that feeling of, yep, I'm deciding to do this now. Now look, this whole interpretation is, of course, super controversial. But the point is, it looks like your brain makes a call, and your conscious self just kind of gets the news bulletin after the fact. So that begs the question, right? If our consciousness isn't the one making the call, then what on earth is it for? And that leads to this pretty radical idea. Maybe your consciousness isn't the CEO. Maybe it's the PR department. Yeah, the leading theory is that our conscious mind is kind of like the brain's press secretary. It doesn't actually make the big decisions. Its job is to come in after the action has been decided and spin a really great story about it, a story that makes it all sound super logical, totally intentional, and, of course, freely chosen. Let me put it another way. Your conscious mind isn't the director of your life's movie. It's more like someone in the audience watching it all happen and thinking, wow, I'm writing a great script. It's just an observer, not the one calling the shots. And, you can see where this is going. If any of this is true, the implications are just staggering. This isn't just some dusty academic debate. This hits at the very core of how we see ourselves and how we've built our entire world. Because really, if the brain makes the move before we're even aware of it, we have to start asking some seriously tough questions. Like, what happens to your sense of self? If the I isn't the one authoring my actions, who am I? What about personal control or the idea that you can improve yourself? And the big one, what does this do to our ideas of legal and moral responsibility? If someone's brain made a decision unconsciously, how can we praise them or, blame them for what they do? And this all brings us to the final, and let's be honest, the most mind-bending question that all this research leaves us with. The whole thing can really be boiled down to this one simple, powerful phrase. If your brain acts first and consciousness follows, then who or what is really making the decisions? Is there even a you in the driver's seat? Or are we all just passengers in these incredibly complex biological machines, just along for the ride and calling that experience choice? That is the massive question that neuroscience is forcing us all to think about.